Hi there, this is Ingrid with 604 Training Solutions. In this video series, we're going to pop the hood on all the different terminology, buzzwords, concepts that are floating around when it comes to organizational training for 2022 and beyond. And in this video, I'm just going to cover off some basic principles to be aware of, because all too often I speak to organizations that have allocated money to hire a training specialist, and they've really not thought about how do they want to provide training to their audiences, whether employees, franchisees, or customers and distributors. So before you post a job ad or contact a recruiter, or if you happen to be a recruiter, talk to your client about a particular posting, be aware of some of the industry trends and terminology, and in particular, who does what. Now, it can be confusing to understand the instructional industry, and let me start off by saying I'm going to be dealing with corporate and organizational training, not academia, all right, not educational institutions or the educational market. So, first of all, the word trainer really refers to the person that is delivering, facilitating, providing access to training content. Back in the day, before the pandemic, trainers may have also created content. However, the creation of content, the planning of the training, the design of the materials really falls under the domain of an instructional designer. And instructional design happens to be a very booming occupation. And instructional designers are hired right across all industries. So again, that's an important distinction. So if you don't have materials in place, it makes sense to hire an instructional designer before you hire a trainer. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the trends that are affecting how is instruction created and delivered. What's happening in the industry 2022 and beyond? Well, there's a few important things to consider. One is that self-paced learning is becoming more prevalent, and we're talking about a learner accessing training material without being part of a meeting or being part of a classroom, virtual or otherwise. And the learning experience tends to be quite interactive, and that means that the learner is doing activities, possibly games, taking quizzes, assessing their progress, and this is all part of the learning experience, highly interactive, as opposed to passive. What else? Well, it may come as no surprise that 70% of people worldwide access web content through a mobile device. Their smartphone, tablet, iPhone, iPad. And what's important about mobile use as opposed to traditional desktop, laptop use is that the touch point, as opposed to scrolling, zooming, that kind of thing. So if you're not using the technology designed for mobile users, your content may not work for the future. So again, it's all about building future-friendly content for 2022, fall, winter, and beyond. So a few other considerations are that there are many different ways to create content that's high quality, professional, engaging, without having to spend tens of thousands of dollars on equipment or hiring specialists, going to agencies. It's worth exploring the look and feel, the experience. Do you want the training to be highly visual? Do you want it to be fun, informal, formal? What format is going to work for your learners? So starting with the learner needs, how learners like to be able to interact with content, that is a starting point that should drive all the discussions and hiring decisions. So in subsequent videos, I'm going to be talking a little bit about e-learning, video tutorials, VR and AR, augmented learning, for example, as well as animation style, whiteboarding, the different tools and techniques, as well as what is meant by online learning. Should you invest in applications such as Articulate? What is making sense for organizations large and small? So stay tuned for answers to those questions. And in the meantime, I'd love to hear from you. Please post your comments. And I'll look forward to what you can share with me about what's working in your organization as well.